integration into a good one, you create a happy customer. You may have even tried screen sharing, and you know that after all the downloads, all the plugins, and all the installations, you're left with a one-way experience that makes your great web product look like it's a decade old. With GoInstant, you can engage your customers on your website and inside your product in real time. I want to show you how that works. My partner Gavin has opened a web browser, and it doesn't matter which one. GoInstant works on all browsers and in every platform. And to start a session, Gavin's going to go to his GoInstant URL. And it's that fast. He's able to start a session, and within a few seconds, he can be anywhere he wants. And today, he chooses Google. But the great thing about GoInstant is that when you're browsing the web, you can invite other people to join you. So we've asked Kirk to join Gavin's session by going to that same URL. And within a few seconds, his mouse pops up inside the screen, and they can browse the web and work together. Turns out, Kirk loves cat videos, and he wants to show Gavin some of his favorites. But because GoInstant is completely interactive, Gavin can go ahead and change the search, and they can work together and browse the web as if they're sitting side by side. And that's all fun, but at our company, we use GoInstant to do things like compare code together and look at open source projects. And in this case, Gavin's going to take Kirk over to GitHub, and using Gavin's account, they can dive right in. Kirk has a question about a specific part of Socket.io, which is our favorite project, and he can go ahead and click right in, and Gavin's able to work alongside him. What you've just seen is something that wasn't possible before. Two people on the same page with no friction and nothing to stop them from working together. But we thought the best way to really put GoInstant to the test here at TechCruch Disrupt was to have one of our customers use it live for you. So we went down to Startup Valley, and we found someone with a great product. And in just a second, Matthias from ge.tt is going to join the session by going to that same GoInstant URL.
There's tons of other stuff that you can.
And here he pops in, and he can take Gavin right to the ge.tt website. ge.tt is a great way to send large files. And because GoInstant is completely interactive, he can take Gavin to the sign-up page and get Gavin signed up. And GoInstant also manages a session on behalf of everyone who's connected. So rather than just telling you about what's happening, they can log right in. They can go into Gavin's account, and Matthias can show Gavin exactly how to use their product. No more slides, no more of the friction that separates your customer and your product. This is your chance to let your product sell itself. The other great thing about GoInstant is that it's completely mobile. And we made it as simple as we possibly could. You go to the same GoInstant URL on your Android or your iPhone device, and you're in. It takes just a few seconds, and you get the same great experience. And that's really handy when you're on the road or you want to demo a mobile app. We'll get connected here in a second. And as you can see, inside GoInstant on your mobile device, you get the same experience you'd expect for your product. In this case, when people are connected on the desktop, you see their mice. But if you use the phone to control the session, everyone on the other end will see you engaging from your iPhone. GoInstant gets rid of the friction between you and your product and your customer. And for inside sales, that means you're putting the product in front of the customer faster, so they can understand it and leave the sales process engaged and educated. For customer support, it means you can get to the root of the problem, diagnose it, and demonstrate solutions. Whether you're a startup here today in Startup Valley, or you're a major web company with thousands of inside sales agents and customer support agents, GoInstant can get you closer to your customer.
Then I create a URL for myself. If you go to that URL.
The web has been a lonely place for a long, long time. You looking through your browser, getting a version of the web that was built just for you. At GoInstant, more than anything, we believe that in the future, the web will be an experience that you can share. And GoInstant is the first service that allows you to not only share that experience, but to create entirely new experiences together. We're launching today into private beta, and it will be available on goinstant.com, so please sign up. We'd love to get you set up. Thank you so much.
GoInstant, everyone. Perfect length presentation as well.
Thank you.
Let's start with YOC. That sounds nice.
I passed. They worked on this idea so hard. How long is they passed?
You have nothing to say. That can't be true.
No, I want to hear what Mark
All right, Mark. Please love this.
No, I did like it. I thought it was great. So good job.
Thank you.
You know, I see remnants of very tight use cases of how this can be rolled out that are reminiscent of things like Go to My PC for screen sharing. I think you mentioned some of this, but tight applications around customer support, sales initiatives, and so on and so forth. So I think the biggest thing for you is figuring out how your go-to-market strategy is going to work so you can launch around some tight use cases rather than a generic product. Because to build a generic product, you've got to create a lot of hype and buzz, and I'm not sure if this product will be that. So for me, how you go to market will matter, but it's interesting.
You're hitting at something that we spent a lot of time struggling with in the last year as we developed this technology. And at our booth and things like that, a lot of people come up and they say, hey, just get this out in a consumer use case. But when we went out and spoke to some potential customers, we saw that there was this real pain with people doing business on the web. I mean, as soon as we showed it to them, they had this really strong reaction. And the more we had those kind of conversations with people who were interacting with their customers, we realized that those were the people we wanted to work with because it made a difference in their lives and it changed the way they did their business, and that was really important.
I think the number one rule for building a valuable business is making a difference in people's lives, whoever your consumers are. So if you can solve that, I think it's interesting.
That's what we wanted to do.
Leslie? Well, I'm excited about this. I think it's about time that I don't want to put more pitches on WebEx or on one of these other PowerPoint decks that people are walking me through the phone, so I can see the use case there. So I think it's identifying who would get super excited about it and just getting that experience nailed.
Every venture capitalist is the same thing. I'm tired of getting those feedbacks. So we're here for you too, Leslie. Thanks.
Thank you. Rebecca?
Like, have to invest a lot of time. Right now, Windows Client is still...
Yeah, I'm a little confused right now about what's happening.
Yeah, let's get the mics on the screen.
But this shows that
we really tried to keep this as simple as we possibly could because we knew that the thing that we wanted to do was make the web a shareable experience. And that didn't mean adding a layer to the web. It meant bringing something else into it. So we tried to keep our UI as simple and out of the way as possible. And of course, when we were working on this presentation, a lot of feedback from people was that we had to make sure that we could still show the product and not just be showing the web. But we're going to continue to make the experience of GoInstant as much like the experience of the web as possible. Because we think at the end of the day, the web is a beautiful place. And if our product can just make it a little bit better, our customers are going to continue to use it.
I spent some time actually on the story that so it's not let's go to GitHub and do collaborative development. Here's the sales case, here's the use case, here's where we're sharing some sort of presentation or pitch. My view that's what's the case.
And if you go to GoInstant.com today, you'll see a very focused set of use cases.
Joe?
Rolling out that
I think it also kind of just feels like, oh yeah, I can share
normal users.
Two questions. One, am I able to block people who can and can't look at the URL and I can be showing something to someone now and a couple hours later I'm like worried they're going to come see. The second question is, are you Canadian?
Yep.
I am Canadian. And yes, you can, man. Thank you. Canada represent. You can manage the session as a session owner, and there's various levels of permission. Whether it's anonymous guests or it's people who have user accounts, those levels depend on how you're using it. And then the other thing to say is we manage, privacy between the users, and we do things like hide certain sets of personal information, credit cards, and passwords, and things like that. So they're not shared in the session, they're just sent through.
I mean, one thing that could be cool would be to take a lesson from one of my friends' company's Dropio. Just instead of having a user session, just have your sort of random string link you can pass around. And then once you're done using it, you just stop using it.
So you nailed it. That is the primary way we envision people using this. Quick, easy URL, no friction, you're in and you're sharing the web together. We think that that's incredibly important because that's how the web is today.
Yossi, you ready? Still nothing. No comments at all. Good God. Wow. That. You saw it here first, everyone. Big round of applause, everyone, for GoInstant.